Welcome back to TYT Sports. This is Britton Harden talking boxing. As always, my man Francis Maxwell with me. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Right now, we are going to go through Bleacher Report's top 10 pound-for-pound boxers of all time. This one is going to get tricky because, this is all objective. It's all up to, who you think is the best. So right now, at number 10, they have Sugar Ray Leonard. From my perspective, Sugar Ray Leonard was one of the most dynamic fighters we've ever seen. He was the just premier combination of speed and power. Yeah. So really good choice there. Benny Leonard, I haven't seen too many of his fights, just like little clips here and there. Yeah. What I can say about him is that he was very intelligent. I think he fought at light heavyweight or heavyweight. Yeah. Jack Dempsey, really good choice. He's a beast. Yeah. He was just basically knocking guys clean out. This was damn near a bare knuckle fighter, in the boxing ring. Jack Johnson, really good choice. First African American heavyweight champion of the world, so he transcended the sport in that sense. Really good choice. Roberto Duran, hands of stone. This guy here was just a monster. He was like the first Manny Pacquiao-esque fighter, just like a blitz in the ring.
70 knockouts, unbelievable.
Yeah, really good. He gave Sugar Ray Leonard his first loss.
Yeah.
Joe Louis. Really good fighter, really good heavyweight. What can you say? He's like an American hero.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
The man.
Wow.
I don't know, number 4, if I agree with that, but he is the man.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time.
When you're thinking about boxing, it's just the number one name that comes up to everyone. But I think Bleacher Report are the majestic feather rufflers. They'd love to just kind of throw in lists that's controversial, and this is a controversial call for me.
You're ruffling my feathers.
Yeah.
So he might be the Bleacher Report's 4th pound-for-pound boxer of all time. Granted, I throw him in the top 5 greatest athletes across every sport to ever exist of all time.
And I 100% agree with you. Good point. Number 3, Willie Pep. Willie the Whip Pep was one of the greatest defensive fighters to ever step inside of a ring. His record speaks for itself. He's only had 11 losses out of 229 fights. Nice. And when you talk about not getting touched, this guy laid out the model for defensive fighters. Get in the ring and not get touched by the man standing across the ring.
229 fights.
Yeah.
That is... Obviously,
this is a different era when they would fight maybe once a week.
Yeah,
but still an amazing, outstanding record. Number 3, Henry Armstrong. Now, I knew Henry Armstrong for being able to move up and down in weight really well. From going really small to really big and being dominant in the ring. Don't really know much else about him, but for that accolade in itself, you got to give him some applause. And the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter on Bleacher Report's top 10 list is Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, I can't say that I disagree with this because he just embodied so many different styles. Some fighters or some enthusiasts at the time would think, oh, he's just a cute boxer behind the jab. Some would think that he was a brawler. Some would think that he was defensive. And some people would think that he would just get in there and knock you clean out. The fact of the matter is he could do everything, and it just depended on what he wanted to give you on any given night. So number 1 pound for pound of all time, I can't say that I disagree with that. I think that my A1 and my A and A1 would be between him and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and we were talking before, if you're talking about changes you could add to these lists, there's a few, I guarantee the fans, if you feel there's different people that you haven't mentioned, make sure to comment in the section below. And you said you thought Iron Mike should be in there somewhere?
Iron Mike Tyson definitely should have been on that list.
Yeah.
When I think about my top 10 or just my top list of boxers, I always try and think about who had the ability to transcend the sport, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the reason why I think that way is because boxing, it's such a niche sport.
Yeah.
Not too many people are into it. And when you think about the kind of attention that Mike Tyson brought to the sport and how dominant he was in his heyday, in his prime, you got to put him in the top 10 pound for pound list.
The thing with Mike Tyson was, even when I watched it at a young age, I was scared to watch him. I would watch it from my TV set, and I'd just be sitting. I'd be scared to watch him. He installed fear in other fighters like no other. I don't think. As you said before on a previous clip, boxers deserve respect no matter what, because you have got that sense of bravery to go in and put your life and your body on the line to fight for a sport. If you're going in to fight with Mike Tyson, you're putting that on a line, like a line times 10 for me, because he fought with such ferocity and his power.
Yeah.
He would knock down guys that you would just like, humongous mountain men would just be made to look like nothing. And I agree with you, he needs to be on that list for me. Any other changes you think had to be added in there, or do you think it's a pretty accurate list?
You know what, I think it's a pretty accurate list.
Yeah.
You can't really count in the Floyd Mayweathers and the Manny Pacquiaos only because their careers aren't finished. I think the only fighter that I might will add, and again, his career isn't finished, even though he needs to hang it up, is maybe a Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
He was outrageous in the ring.
Yeah.
10 punch combinations unanswered.
Yeah.
You know, just the epitome of swag in the ring.
Yeah, he's confident.
But he actually just came off of a knockout victory, which is a change in his trend recently. But I think he needs to hang it up, and he will soon be in the top 10 pound for pound of all time.
You should have hung it up before, right? I mean, it's been going on for a while. But definitely agree with those points. As I said, I am no expert.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, I was going to say Bernard. He's still fighting as well, right?
These guys are still fighting. These are honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions.
These are
to go
honorable
in.
mentions
as we said,
for the next time.
Yeah, as we said, if you've got your own top 10 list out there, make sure to comment in the section below. We'd love to hear your suggestions. But I think Rocky Balboa needs to come in at number 2 or 3 somewhere. One of my choices. All right. Thank you again for tuning in to TYT Sports. Francis and Britton here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at TYT Sports. Make sure to check out our website, TYT Sports Online, and our Instagram. You get to see everything that we do behind the scenes. Me and Britton are actually going to pop out for a little round at the back. We'll catch that on Instagram.
Get to see these faces.
Thanks for tuning in.